The next thing I want to talk about is Grounded 2 Early Access. What a lovely surprise it was. Obsidian's second release of the year.
Dude, 2 of 3, right?
2 of 3 after
3
Avowed.
games in 1 year from that studio feels unbelievable to me.
Yeah, that's some nasty work. Avowed came out in February. A lot of us thought it was a banger. Nikki, I know you really liked Avowed
game
a lot.
It might be my game of. It still, I think, might be my game of the year.
Ooh, that's what's up. And Grounded 2 just came out in early access, which I have played quite a bit of so far. And they still have The Outer Worlds 2 for October. So Obsidian has a lot going on, but Grounded 2, it's just an early access. And we do have an early access review from Travis Northrop, who's our longtime freelancer. He actually reviewed the full release of Grounded 1, gave that a 9 out of 10, and reviewed Grounded 2 early access and gave it an 8. And I'm going to read his conclusion. Travis said that out of the early access gates, Grounded 2 is well on its way to becoming one of my favorite survival games ever. Ooh. Even in its very incomplete and fairly buggy state. The story exploration... buggy state. Get him, Maddie. That was good. The story, exploration, and RPG mechanics have all been enlarged in a big way. Get him, Maddie.
Man.
And the addition of multiple insect pets is exactly as much of a game changer as I'd hoped it would be. There's certainly a lot of room for Grounded 2 to grow in early access, including enemy variety, some more memorable areas, and better base building systems, and especially technical performance. But as incomplete as it is, Obsidian already very clearly has something special on its hands, and it promises to be the evolution of this small but mighty series that I was hoping for. So it's cool. I have played quite a bit of myself. I only played about 15-20 hours of Grounded 1 once it was complete. Had a good time, but wasn't compelled to put as many hours as Travis did. I think he put in like 100-something hours in the original release. But I really like what they're doing with Grounded 2, and I think I almost forgot how much of an RPG that Grounded is. Yes, it's an Obsidian game, and its core is the survival aspects, kind of streamlining the things that you see from games like The Forest or Rust and making them palatable to a wider audience. I think that's one of the things that Grounded 1 really figured out, and I really like that. Grounded 2 is an extension of that. It feels less like a full sequel and more of like, here's an expansion pack with quality of life changes and an extension of a lot of the systems that you saw in the original game, which I think is perfectly fine. But I'm not holding it against it. It just doesn't feel like a full-on sequel, which they have a winning formula. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Build on it. But I think that Grounded 2 is coming out of the gates stronger than Grounded 1 did. Granted, they had a whole ass game to build off of, so I sure hope that was the case, and it is. But I really like the RPG elements in this game. Having come off of Avowed and Oblivion Remastered, I was surprised by how familiar this game plays on the ground level. Hey, boo, get him out of here. When it comes to like the melee combat and managing your inventory and exploration, it feels very familiar to those games, which, that's kind of Obsidian's bread and butter. But in the context of this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids premise that they've been building on, it separates itself enough to where it has that whimsical vibe to where like I'm not in some dark fantasy world where everything's out to kill me, or like even Avowed had some whimsy to it, right? But it's still built on a pretty brutal fantasy world, more or less. Where this is a little bit more lighthearted.
There's a pandemic that's killing the planet in that one.
Yeah. And here it's like, some science company like really screwed things up, and it's just children, so whatever, they'll figure it out. So it has the 4 same characters from the original game. So they're back in this situation. There's a pretty interesting story behind Grounded, actually. It's not just like one of those survival games where it's all context clues and base building and survival. It's not just that. There is a pretty well thought out story in these games. And that's one of Obsidian's strengths. And it shows through in this. And it has that comedic tone that I think really fits well with the premise, and also the fact that you're playing as teenagers who are kind of, they're not dumb, but they're like, they don't know anything else about the world other than like being subjects of the science experiment. So it really they're able to strike that tone again with this game. So it feels different enough from Obsidian's other offerings, but also familiar to where you're not wandering off into a game where you have to figure out all these different systems and mechanics. There is a learning curve though, because of the survival elements and the crafting that you have to do in this game. And I think on controller, at least, it's kind of a lot to manage. And this being early access, I'm sure that they can improve on the tutorialization, because there's if I didn't play Grounded 1, I would probably be a lot more lost with how I manage my inventory, what elements feed into what other mechanics and things like that. The base building stuff is really cool, but it's going to take some time to wrap your head around if you're not familiar with this type of game. But what they have here is really, really cool. I put in about 5 or 6 hours. I'm going to keep playing more. I played a lot of that solo, actually, and it's not too bad as a solo player, but this is a game that you definitely want to play with friends, because being out on your own is a little sad. And when it comes to the survival stuff, you want to have each other's backs.
I will not be there with you.
Yeah, same. I'm abstaining, as I've said before.
Yeah.
Every time I see a big ant,
is it the bugs?
This game would be so sick if it was about literally anything else.
No. Well,
like if it wasn't
I like
bugs.
that it's about bugs.
Well, listen, have fun with your little video game.
I love beetles. I love spiders. It kind of makes me sad when you see them just like flonking like spiders and their just guts goes out. I'm like, no, spider. But then I see the ant. I'm like, nah,
kill that thing.
I can't do it. I can't. They're just instantly angry.
I would play this game. They have the arachnophobia mode, which turns them into blobs. If you could turn every single enemy into those blobs, I might be down. But otherwise, it's such a bummer, because every other part of it actually seems like a game that I would really, really enjoy. But I just can't. Like the enemies and the companions are just, I can't touch them.
I just want more beetles.
Nah, I'm Gucci
Beetles
on the
are
whole. Nah.
The big ones at the pincers, the Hercules
I'm
beetles.
good. I'm good.
Hot take. The Beatles were never good.
They weren't ever good. And listen, they don't have a single good song.
Oh, I never said that.
Oh,
Yo, the boomers in the chat are in the chat, and the comments are gonna go
That's
wild.
fine. Listen, engagement is engagement, ain't it?
Yeah, if they got to this part 50 minutes into the episode, thank you for the watch time minutes. You know what I'm saying? Comment with your favorite Beatles song. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it because it's there's something about the art style that takes the edge off. Even though, if I see a spider in my room, I'm gonna flip out and I'm gonna be very scared. Okay. Back in the day, I used to ask my mom to kill spiders that end up in my room because I'm like, oh, I'm scared.
can I tell you a scary story about a spider?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a scary story for me. One time I went back to sleep.
That's a great way to preface this story. I'm going to tell you a scary story. You're going to think it's terrifying. For me, it was Tuesday.
It's funny. So I snoozed my alarm, but I think I accidentally just turned it off. And I went back to sleep. And then I just felt this little tickle on my hand. Oh. And I woke up and there's this little spider running all across my arm. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, wow. Thank you for waking me up. And it got me up 5 minutes before my meeting. So I was able to make myself presentable and go.
That's a friend.
It's a nice little friend. I put it on my nightstand. I was like, go to the ceiling. My cat's going to eat you.
Oh,
that story wasn't scary at all. That was very nice.
It's really pleasant.
About human and animal interaction.
Yeah, it didn't bite me or anything. It's just, I don't know why it was there. They're usually not on the bed.
So you're saying that Grounded 2 is problematic?
Yeah. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I wasn't asked, but yeah.
Yep. Everyone write that up. Cite your sources. Link back to Podcast Unlocked. Get us some more watch time minutes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's cool to see that Obsidian is still firing on all cylinders. I mean, I played Outer Worlds 2 a lot at this point for preview. I think that game is going to be a banger based on what I played. I actually think that it's not going to get overlooked. It's a damn Microsoft published first party AAA game, right? But I think that there's the conversation around that game is surprisingly, I don't want to say no one's talking about it.
I feel
But
it does feel muted though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
I think that's probably because of the brand the conversations around the brand as a whole.
Yeah, there's other conversations happening, but not particularly exactly about the game. But I think that once people start to play around with the systems that are in Outer Worlds 2, I think they'll find something a lot more interesting than the original Outer Worlds, and even interesting in the context of Obsidian's RPGs. So the fact that they have Avowed and then they have Grounded 2, and then they're going to come out with Outer Worlds 2, like this is, they're on a dynasty right now,
dude.
So
three in 1 year for that team is nuts. I think they're gonna go to sleep for a little bit.
Yeah, they probably should.
Yeah,
they should probably rest a little bit. But
a lot of high fives on those teams, I think. And vacations.
So, Grounded 2, that is available on Xbox Game Pass if you have the best deal in games. Sorry, Nikki, I took your line. That is available now, and I don't know how much it is if you don't have Game Pass. So
I'm gonna say
sorry,
$39.99 feels right to me.
Yeah, y'all can look it up. Y'all
you have
internet.
Google. What?
Yeah, come on,
figure it out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I love antagonizing our audience.
No, it's not antagonism. It's you got to trust them to be adults.
Yes, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
if you're listening in your car, wait until you get to work. Look it up.
What if they're kids?
Look it up. You should be listening to this podcast.
You know what I'm saying?
I did want to shout out to, we have a really great guide. So if you're playing Grounded 2 and need some help, please go check that out.
Yo, how many check marks do I get?
I don't know. You'd have to look.
Okay, that's fine.
It'll show you on the left. It's a little bar.
I'll look on the left.
Yeah.
IGN guides are popping. Some very cool tools behind the scenes, also in addition to our wiki content. So if you are going to play Grounded 2, definitely check that out because this early access is pretty extensive. It's Travis took about 25 hours to see all the content through. So it is a pretty chunky game. And if you look at the map, if you pull out the map, you see the zones that are available. There's so much more left. I think there's more than half that map is still untouched. So I can't wait to see where it goes from here. So we are coming up on an hour, so we can just get through this last story relatively quickly. Yeah, I say that now, right? But Reb Valentine, our good friend Reb, had a story from late last week. Rebecca Valentine, senior reporter here at IGN.com.
I know her.
Yeah. Congrats on the house, dude. And she wrote a story late last week, said that Game Pass revenue was nearly $5 billion for the first time over the last year. $5 billion from Game Pass. I don't know. I think you could take like a couple thousand off the top and give it to me, and that'll change my life, dog.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Unlocked, IGN's weekly Xbox show. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to watch the full episode at youtube.com/IGN Games. New episodes of Unlocked drop every Thursday on IGN Games, IGN.com, and your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.